Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Iron Man Super Meat Boy. Our long and arduous journey has taken us all the way to the final chapter, the Cotton Alley. And what a nice, pink, cute, fluffy, soft chapter this is. This is going to be easy and smooth. I wish that were true, but then there is Hopscotch, for instance. That killed me more times than I care to remember. You have no idea how painful this is until you watch the death montage, and even then, it's only a fraction of the suffering I went through to clear this level out. What's really weird is I remember doing this last when I originally got Girl Boy, so I must have really mastered that gravity well thing. On second thought, actually, I probably just abused the hell out of the exit to map exploit. The fans in Windblower are very much like the gravity well in 7.16 in that I haven't found a foolproof strategy. You need to be careful dropping down on the first one and then get just enough wind to fly through the saw blades in the middle. Once gravity starts pulling you down, you better hope you're not too high or the push from the right fan isn't enough and you'll get chopped up instead. It's kind of tricky. Nothing quite like lag in a level with missile launchers chasing you. That's a pretty good wake-up call. This level is really all about timing and then zigzagging once you get past the first jumps. And after that you just need to be careful not to be chased by any of those missiles, because if you have two of them in your tail, then it's gonna be a real difficult time trying to get out of this place unscathed. I wasn't supposed to go to Rash yet. There are only two difficult jumps, one at the very start, one at the very end. Otherwise the level is not really all that bad. But well, I guess it's good practice for a four-letter word, whatever that word might be. This here is a level that I'm accustomed to speedrunning so much that I find it really difficult to stop dead in my tracks every now and again to get all these things aligned nicely, because I don't feel like jumping over these particular saw blades, for instance. It's a lot safer to go from under them, so it's a good idea to stop every now and then and think. Oh, any blinking you have to do? Do it before you start running here. Whenever I do this last stretch, my muscles are all tensed up. With every jump I do gives me a little stroke. And you really can't afford any mistakes here whatsoever. So you have to keep your eyes open all the time. After all the trouble it took me to get even this far, I really couldn't take another screw up. Lockout I used to do first, but I devised a pretty good strategy for it. Which is not what you're seeing right now, obviously, because you don't want to deal with all that shrapnel. Holy shit, this is not gonna end well, is it? Well, I guess it is. Wow. Good thing the second half is not quite as difficult. As long as you just run along these things, the shrapnel will never get you, they will always miss. Here's what you're supposed to do. If you're quick enough, you can make all those moths hit the ceiling before they get out of their little holes. Therefore you don't have to worry about the shrapnel. And it's a life-saving technique that I found. I don't know what went wrong on that actual run, but we survived, so that's good enough for me. For Bullet Bob, you really need to have all those missile launchers synced up perfectly. If they are even a little out of sync, well, actually they are right here, so I guess I have to retract my statement, but essentially if they are firing at way different times, you're gonna have a whale of a time trying to get through this level. But if you plan it out well and play accordingly, then you should know when to move and when they're not gonna hit you. So it's not that difficult. Except for this very last part here. You can see how close that was. You could make that last missile launcher fire and then move, but the other two might get another shot at you if you do that, so it's not the safest strategy, so I'd just rather run for it. I know you could move a lot faster here, but I find that if I jiggle along to these things, so to speak, then I can sort of nail their rhythm, and it's a lot easier for me to proceed. As for... I really should have run there Oh well, I guess it's not too bad. The latter half is really simple. Just wait it out and be careful not to get hit by the saw blade. It's really not all that tough. Now for panic attack, I really need to turn off my speedrunning mode for this part here, which might seem like a silly thing to do with a thing chasing you, but really there's plenty of time, and I think it's worth it just for the last jump, instead of making a really precise long arc jump over the last saw blades. You just kind of stop there for a second. It's a lot easier that way. Run, rabbit, run. Dig that hole, forget the sun. This is a level that, alongside with 715, I found a good strategy for, and therefore could put a lot lower on my list. If you let go of the run button for a while like that, the latter half of the level becomes ridiculously easy, as you can simply slide down the wall, start running left, and that saw blade can never get you. You have no idea how relieved I was when I found that out. For peel, well, don't go too fast, don't go too slow, always make sure to hide in one of those holes there. And it'll pretty much flow the same way every time. Don't really have anything else to say about this one, it's just practice. Alright, we're really nearing the easy half. I'm not usually this far in the run, because the first 5 levels usually kill me, so that's why I'm taking it real... Wow, that was close. You can even see the splatter inside the saw blade. I never even realized how close it was until I watched the footage afterwards. Man, I gotta say, I was really lucky right there. I basically should have died there. Spinal Tap looks a lot more threatening than it actually is. As long as you have a pattern for this one and you know where the saw blades are going to be, it's going to be the same every time. You don't really need a time-specific pattern for it, however, because if you just stay next to the saw blades, they will never hit you, so you just look for a good moment and run when you see one. Hatch might be a bit disorienting at first because of the conveyor belts, but if you remember all the way back in the Salt Factory video, I said that you shouldn't run on them like this. Instead, just jump and you can kill the momentum. Aside from that, there are only saw blades that are in perfect sync, so they're rather predictable. And being able to stand between the rooms gives you plenty of time to think and wait for the right moment, so it's not all that bad, really. You could skip the first jump to the right in Pepto, but if you miss that jump, you're screwed. Besides, we have plenty of time, because the Pepto-Bismol or whatever is pretty slow. Still, there's no time really to stay still for too long. We can save some time in the end as well. That shortcut is relatively easy to pull off, and it also lets you skip 2 saw blades. I never miss a chance to do that. Okay, let's hope I can get these keys on my first try so I don't have to exit to the map and come back, because I will resort to that if it comes down to it. Hell yes, you don't have to do that. Although if I had that as my policy, I guess I should have used it in Hopscotch more than anything, I guess. The first jump in lead sheets is the only one that can ever give you any trouble, really. Of course you need to have the level memorized, but I think that's a given at this point. The start's kinda tricky because you can't jump too late or too early, but once you nail that, the rest of the level is a walk in the park. Alright, only 3 levels left. Let's start with Oobs Revenge. The trick here is to take the upper path for the key on the right. As the Oobs are trying to take a bite out of you, they hover up and fall asleep there. Then when you return on the lower platforms, they're too high up to reach you in time. However, try to avoid stepping on the middle block here, because then you'll have 2 small blocks and a hole to deal with on your way back instead of having a kind of elongated platform. I swear, I dreaded that jump the moment I realized I had accidentally broken the middle block. Okay, as long as we get the 2 jumps right, get the first key, we should be good. After getting the first key, you can get inside the hole, and as far as I know, the dust mites are too big to fit in, meaning you are completely safe here. So it's a good place to just sit tight and wait for a good moment. Looking at the timer, I must have missed a jump somewhere, because this only took about 20 seconds on my practice runs. But it's not like I'm in a hurry. it's worth knowing that you can simply run on the middle platform after you've unlocked the first lock. Not having to jump makes things less of a hassle with all those guys floating around. Okay, then just wait for the right moment. Looks like that could be it. No, wait, go back, go back. That's better. Boy, am I ever glad I didn't screw that up. It probably doesn't come as a surprise that I've saved Pig Lantern for last. It's a joke. This level is really stupid. The normal route is, I don't know, I don't think I've ever played it through the normal route. I don't even know anyone who has. And it's, with the shortcut, it's forest level difficult. So, naturally it's gonna be the last thing I do. And what do you know? That's the second time I've ever achieved Girl Boy, and decisively the last time I'll do it as well. That leaves us with only Dark Cotton Alley and Impossible Boy, the achievement I've yet to get myself. It's gonna be pretty interesting. Anyway, game of Hopscotch, anyone?